Hello friends, this video is for MCOM Semester 2 student. Our subject is Corporate Communication and our topic is Corporate Social Responsibility. These all are the outlines for today. We are going to learn first arguments for social responsibility, arguments against social responsibility, and responsibility of business towards different section of society. So, what is corporate social responsibility? Corporate social responsibility is a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. By practicing corporate social responsibility, also called corporate citizenship. Corporate social responsibility is important to both consumers and companies. It is a great way to raise morale in the workplace or in the business. Now, arguments for corporate social responsibility. There are several core ideas about social responsibility of business. Over the period of time, the things have changed too much, giving new thoughts and replacing the classical economic view of profit maximization in the business. Based on this feature, in the present context, arguments for social responsibility are as follows. There are total 7 arguments for social responsibility in the favor of social responsibility are as here. First, business is a part of society. Second, long-term self-interest of business. Third, moral justification. 4, creating better public image. 5, avoidance of government regulations. And 6, maintenance of society. Now start learning detail. First is business is a part of society. Society is a system and business is a one of its subsystem. Business is responsible for the society as a whole and profit motive of the business cannot have precedence over other motives of the society. That means every subsystem like business of a system like society functions for the better work of the whole system and not for its own better work only. This version applies in the business that's why business is a part of society. Second, long-term self-interest of business. Existence of any business is because of existence of various social organs like financiers, employees, customers, society as a whole, etc. and not otherwise. By discharging social responsibility, the business may provide the satisfaction. That means social responsibility is in the long-term self-interest of the business. Therefore, business should provide satisfaction to all these organs like financiers, employees, customers, society itself on continuous basis for its continued existence. The third one is moral justification. This moral justification is emerged from the fact that if anyone takes something from others, we just give something to them in return. On moral ground, this equation must be based on equity so that it continues. A business takes various inputs like money, materials, people, informations, etc. from the society and gives outputs like goods and services to the society by using various inputs. That means social responsibility has a moral justification when system of taking input like money, materials, people, informations from the outside of the market and giving outputs like goods and services works well only if it fulfills social responsibility. If they all are using social responsibility, then the work is done very effectively and easily. The fourth one is creating better public image. Any business which involves in fulfilling the aspiration of society creates better image in the public. Creation of this type of image is a source of satisfaction itself for those who operate business. This also helps in increasing the business volume both in terms of taking input and giving outputs. That means the business which fulfill all the needs and demands of the society that creates better image in the society, in our customers' mind. This is only possible when social responsibilities work very effectively. Now, fifth one is avoidance of government regulation. Government aims at maintaining equilibrium in the society on the long-term basis. For this purpose, it tries to ensure that every organ of society meets social requirements. If any organ fails to do so, government has a power to take action against it. In order to avoid such actions having long-term negative impact, it is preferable to adopt social responsibility. That means, since business is an organ of society, government may take actions against those business organizations which involve in activities not meeting social requirements. That's why, in order to avoid any actions related to these organs having a long-term negative impact, so it is preferable to adopt social responsibility in the business. The sixth one is maintenance of society. For maintaining society, there are legal provisions, but these provisions cannot be comprehensive because of social changes on continuous basis. Therefore, the business has to be socially responsible in order to avoid anti-social activities so that society is maintained on continuous basis. That means there are so many legal provisions are available to maintaining the society, but that provisions does not work at the situation of continuous change in the society. So, business has a social responsibility to avoid antisocial activities. That means activity which not necessary for the society to maintain on continuous basis. These all are the arguments for social responsibility. Now we are going to learn arguments against social responsibility. There are various arguments against social responsibility. Through most of these are based on classical economics. These arguments are as follows. First is contrary to basic function of business, conflict with profit motive, distortion in resource allocation, imposition of business value, inefficiency in the system, and operational problems. There are total 6 arguments against social responsibilities. Now learn in detail. First one is contrary to basic function of business. The basic function of a business is to provide a product to its customers at a price which is lower than the level of satisfaction provided by the use of the product, or at the most equal to that. If this relationship is reversed, the product becomes meaningless. Generally, the cost of the production is a significant factor in determining the production price. Discharge of social responsibility adds to cost, hence product price, which may reverse the above equation, and business may not remain variable in the long term. So we must have to take care about our production cost. Second one is conflict with profit motive. Social responsibility is in conflict with profit motive of business. Undertaking business involves assuming risk. Earning profit is the reward of this risk. If social responsibility added in business, it reduces profit margin. So that social responsibility and profit motive do not proceed in the same direction. That means when it comes on profit motive, then social responsibility and profit motive do not work at the same direction, because earning the profit in the business is a reward and social responsibility is a objective of the business. Social responsibility reduces profit margin, so it creates conflict in the business. So social responsibility and profit motive are the opposite of the business. Now third one is distortion in resource allocation. Social responsibility leads to distortion of resources allocation. Resources in an economic system are allocated on the principle that every resource finds its most optimum utilization. This utilization is based without social responsibility and not with it. That means utilization is based without social responsibility and do not work with the social responsibility. Thus, social resources may go in a waste if the concept of social responsibility is added to business operations. Fourth one is imposition of business values. Discharging social responsibility involves lot of influence of the business on the society. Therefore, by undertaking social responsibility, a business is likely to impose its own value on the society. That means that by replacing the social values with business values, this phenomenon has taken place in many cases. This is highly undesirable from social point of view. Fifth one is insufficiency in the system. Social responsibility brings an insufficiency in the system. There is no substitute for the power of self-interest to get people to act. Any replacement of self-interest will therefore be fatal to the efficiency of the system. That means social responsibility tends to replace self-interest and business defined in terms of profit motive to a great extent, thus making the business as a system inefficient. This situation make our business inefficient, so in this case social responsibility does not work with the business. Last one is operational problems. There are certain operational problems in implementing social responsibility. Conceptually as well as operationally, social responsibility is a confusing term. Therefore, managers involved in managing business affairs are not very clear about what they are expected to do under social responsibility. In this case, social responsibility is a very confusing term. That means, as a result, actions ranging from mere showing lip symptoms to undertaking multi-crore concrete programs are included in social responsibility. So that there are so many operational problems may create because of social responsibilities in the business. These all are the arguments against social responsibilities. Now we are going to learn responsibility of business towards different section of society. There are so many responsibilities of business towards various section of the society are considered in corporate social responsibility. They all are as under. There are total 7 factors in which business have a responsibility their own. First is employees, second owner, third consumers. Consumer involve 2 points, product and marketing. Fourth, government. Fifth, shareholders. Sixth, community. 7, environment. Environment also involve 2 points, preservation of natural resources and pollution control. Now learn in detail. First one is employees. So, no enterprise can succeed without the wholehearted cooperation of the employees. Of course, otherwise employees does not work in the business with full-hearted contributions, then our enterprise cannot lead in the market. Responsibility of business towards employees is in the form of training promotions, proper selection, fair wages, safety, health, workers' education, comfortable working condition, participation management, etc. We can help our employees with these all factors like training promotion, proper selection, fair wages, safety, health, workers' education, comfortable working condition and participation management. Generally, employees should be taken into confidence while taking decisions affecting their interest. The workers should be offered incentive for raising their performance. Mental, physical, economical and cultural satisfaction at employees should be taken care of. If business looks after the welfare of employees, then they will also work wholeheartedly for the prosperity of business. Second one is owners. Business is accountable towards as well as managing business profitably, ensuring fair and regular return on capital employed, consolidating financial position of business, guaranteed capital appreciation so as to enable the owner to withstand any business contingencies. The owner is a main point of the business. So business has so many important responsibility towards owner. Third one is consumers. Responsibility of business towards consumer extended to product and market. So first one is product. Quality goods should be produced and supplied. Distribution systems should make goods easily available to avoid artificial scarcities, and after sales service should be prompt. That means buying capacity and consumer preferences should be taken into consideration while deciding the manufacturing prices and manufacturing policies. The care must be exercised in supplying the goods of quality which has no adverse effect on the health of consumers. So we must have to take care of our consumers and their choices. Second one is marketing. To avoid being misled by wrong claim about products through improper advertisement or otherwise, the consumer should be provided full information about the products, including their adverse effect, risk and care to be taken while using the product. That means consumers all over the world are by and large dissatisfied because the performance of businessmen is far from satisfaction. Consumers is not the king and our country, but a vehicle used by businessmen for driving towards the goal of profit maximization. That means customers is not king for whole country, but a king for or a tool for businessmen for increasing profit in their business. They use customer as a tool for increasing the profit, and they marketing their and promotions their production as a wrong way. As a result of it, which the concept of consumerism has come up to protect the consumer's right. As a result of this, the consumerization has came up to protect the consumer's right. The fourth one is government. A number of legislatives are formed from time to time by the government for proper regulation and control of business. Businessmen should comply with all legal requirements, execute government contract, pay taxes honestly and in time, make service of executives available for government, suggest measures and send proposal to enact new law for the business. Generally, a number of taxes are imposed on business for collecting revenue or income. Businessmen should pay various taxes in time and help government in collecting funds. They should not resort to tax evasions, rather declare their incomes honestly and correctly. But series of raids conducted on business houses or business firms clearly show that businessmen have failed to discharge their responsibility towards government. So every business must have to pay taxes in time to time. The fifth one is shareholders. Shareholders, who are the owners of business, should be provided with correct information about company to enable them to give them true and fair position of the company, to enable them to decide about rather further investments. That means company should provide a fair return on the investment made by shareholders. If shareholders do not get proper dividend, then they will hesitate to invest additional funds in the company. Shareholders should be kept fully informed about the working of the economy for healthy growth of the business. The Companies Act 1956 also requires company to give full disclosure in the published statement. Company should strengthen the share price by its growth, innovation and diversification. At the same time, shareholders shall also offer wholehearted support and cooperation to the company to protect their own interest. Now, the sixth one is community. Responsibility of business towards community and society includes spending a part of profits towards civic and educational facilities. Every industrial undertaking should take steps to dispose of industrial waste in such a way that ecological balance is maintained and environmental pollution is prevented. That means in the case of rehabilitating the pollution displaced by business units should also be part of responsibility of business. Business houses should set up units at those places where sufficient place is available for housing ecologies of workers. The promotion of small-scale industries will help not only nation but will also help in building up a better society. Our last one is environment. Business should protect the environment, which has acquired great importance all over the world. Business can discharge the responsibility of protecting environment in following ways. There are two ways to protecting environment. First one is preservation of natural resources and second one is pollution control. So preservation of natural resources. Scarce natural resources should be used very carefully as these are depleting at a very fast rate. Generally, the alternative sources can also be found out to save natural resources, like to save forest alternative to wood and pulp can be found. The use of coal can be reduced by alternative sources of energy. In today's time, we are not using our natural resources, that all are replaced by energy. Second, pollution control. Appropriate steps should be taken to prevent environmental pollution and to preserve ecological balance. That means the industrial waste should be disposed of carefully or if possible can be recycled to minimize pollution. The toxic waste is excessive noise, chemical, pesticides, automobile, exhaust, etc. need to be checked from time to time. So this is business responsibility towards our nation's population and our environment to protect our environment by these all organs like toxic wastes, excessive noise, chemical, pesticides, automobile and used, etc. These all are the responsibility of business towards society. Here our corporate social responsibility is complete. Thank you.